Hello, it's Big Chads, and this is part of the Trading Encyclopedia Daily Education series on my YouTube at Chads Trading. Find me on Twitter at Big Chads and Bitcoin Live, where I am a founding analyst. For today's lesson, we're going to talk about the concept of wicks and paying attention to upper wicks and lower wicks. You've seen these videos before on the northern and southern doji. I'm just using these for example. Upper wick candles like shooting star, gravestone, lower wick like the long leg doji, the hammer, right? So it doesn't have to be a doji, but you really just want to pay attention to wick structure. Let's go to like a random time frame and let's examine this. And the idea is, of course, with a Japanese candle, you have your open, say open a bullish, bearish candle, open, low, high, and close. Now take that candle, but let's say you have this candle, long lower shadow. That shows that buyers stepped in and rejected lower prices, right? The price here opened here, came down, came back up, it closed up here, and bears were unable to maintain those lower prices, right? Same thing with like a bearish candle, like a shooting star or even a gravestone doji. You have this long upper shadow and attempted bounce, and bears come in and they reject higher prices. So you want to pay attention to upper and lower shadows, especially when they appear in certain contexts. Here we have a couple decent sized upper shadows, price starts to roll over. Here's a good example, right? You have the price advancing, upper shadow candle, doji, long upper shadows. These also indecision candles, equal shadow, but a lot of upper shadow action here, okay? Big upper shadow action here, long lower shadows, right? Long lower shadows, indicating that bulls stepped in, right? Bulls stepped in and rejected lower prices. So when you're in a consolidation range, you just want to pay attention. Look at this cluster of lower shadowed candles. When you see this cluster of lower shadowed candles, it's telling you that buyers are stepping in, that there's demand, right? And so the candle body closes may not tell the story. These wicks are really important, especially when you get these wicks, for example, below the lower Bollinger Band. If you get a series of wicks up here, look at these upper shadows, right? Decent equal shadows, upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow. Look at these upper shadowed candles right before the price started to roll over, right? The bulls are trying to advance. They're getting rejected, making another attempt, rejected, another attempt, rejected, right? Right into that resistance level. So you look where the wicks come, set up for a bounce, set up for a bounce. You look where the wicks come, you look where they are in relation to other price structure and use that as your guide. And when you start to get several in a row, in a certain area, in a certain time series, then you really start to pay attention to it, right? It's going to give you important information. It's going to tell you when bulls are rejecting lower prices, bears are rejecting higher prices. You don't always get it, but when you get these cluster of upper shadowed candles, when you get a cluster of some lower shadow candles, a little bit of a bounce, nice cluster lower shadow candles, prices pushing back up. So when you think about the construction of a Japanese candlestick, don't just look at it in a vacuum by itself. Look at it where it is in relation to the other candles. When you have multiple candles with a certain structure, upper or lower shadow in a certain area, and especially after a move, right? So in a sideways, it doesn't mean as much lower or upper, but say you get a big move up and then you get upper shadows, or move down and you get lower shadows. That's going to give you some really important information. So you want to pay attention to upper and lower shadowed candles. And that is the lesson today in the Trading Encyclopedia Daily Education series on my YouTube at Chads Trading. Find me on Twitter at Big Chads and Bitcoin Live, where I'm a founding analyst. Folks, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Big Chads out.